Hi everyone, welcome to our video all about vitamin D and how it's super important for healthy sleep, how it's important for your mental health and your physical health as well. So hi everyone, I'm Alison, I'm part of the Heal Hub team and this is our project which connects young people to free online therapy. So I have a degree in psychology and I currently work at the University of Birmingham in the psychology department, and I'm super interested in all things related to sleep. Yeah, hope you enjoy this video and you find it useful. So we'll get started. So the first question we need to answer is, what is vitamin D? So vitamins are micronutrients that our body needs to function properly and normally. And vitamin D is needed specifically to help the body absorb calcium and phosphate. And it does this from the things that we eat. So yeah, vitamin D, really important to keep bones, teeth and muscles healthy. But as I mentioned, it does also play a role in mental health as well. So you've probably heard about the main source of our vitamin D before, but we get most of our vitamin D from sunlight, which our body very cleverly converts into vitamin D when we're outdoors. So when the sun makes contact with our skin, the body creates vitamin D. It's all very clever. But you can also find vitamin D in some foods. These are normally animal products, so eggs, some oily fish like salmon, red meat, but you can also find it in some sort of fortified cereals and things like that. It will normally say on the packaging like fortified with vitamin D. But during the summer and the spring months, so from about March to about September, most people should be able to get all the vitamin D they need from natural exposure to sunlight. However, during the winter months, so from about October to about March, so the winter that we're in at the moment is very cold. I'm not getting much sunlight where I am at the moment, but we actually don't get enough sunlight during the winter months, or not our optimum level that our bodies need to function. And because of this, the NHS actually recommends that during the winter months you look to other sources to get your vitamin D. So most people, this will be through diet. However, this isn't possible for everyone. So for example, if you follow a vegan diet, or if for any other reason you can't eat animal products, or you struggle to get those sorts of foods, then the NHS suggests that you might want to consider taking a vitamin D supplement. However, I will just mention, before you make any drastic changes, make sure you read the instructions and you consult a medical professional, as too much vitamin D can actually be harmful. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, in general, you want to be looking to increase your vitamin D intake during the winter months, as we can't go outside as much, and the sunlight isn't strong enough to help us produce all the vitamin D that we need. Vitamin D is super important for our physical health. So a lack of vitamin D can actually lead to certain health conditions like rickets in children and bone pain in adults. And a vitamin D deficiency also increases our risk of quite nasty diseases. So it can increase your risk of cognitive impairment in older age, it can increase your risk of cancer and of dying from certain cardiovascular diseases as well. So super important for our physical health. But vitamin D is also really important for our mental health. And a vitamin D deficiency has been linked with and can even worsen certain existing mental health problems, like seasonal affective disorder, mania, psychosis, depression, and certain PMS symptoms too. And in one study, people with depression were given either a placebo pill or given a vitamin D supplement. And after 1 year, the people with depression that were given a vitamin D supplement did experience an improvement in mood compared to those that were given the placebo. So it just goes to show how important vitamin D is for our physical health and our mental health. So in terms of vitamin D and sleep, they've been linked by research over the years, and vitamin D plays a really important role in sleep. So it's been found that being deficient in vitamin D actually increases your risk of certain sleep disorders like insomnia, and can also increase your risk of having poor sleep quality, less sleep time, and increases your risk of sleepiness during the day, which is just not what you want if you want to live a happy, healthy and productive life. So in terms of the research around this, so there was one study in 2013 that found that people slept for 45 minutes longer after they were given vitamin D supplements. And this just shows that increasing your vitamin D, especially if you don't get enough normally, can improve your sleep. And researchers think that this is because vitamin D actually helps to regulate our circadian rhythm, which is our biological clock that controls when we fall asleep and when we wake up. And another study in 2017 gave people with sleep disorders either a vitamin D supplement or a placebo, like the depression study that I mentioned earlier. And they actually found that in those given the supplement, after just 4 months, their sleep quality was improved, it improved their sleep time, and the amount of time it takes to fall asleep was improved, so they were falling asleep faster. So yeah, this all points towards, if you have difficulties with sleep, it's definitely worth considering if you get enough vitamin D and looking to improve it as well. Vitamin D has actually been linked with COVID-19 as well, which is really interesting and super relevant for the current global situation at the moment. So some observational data does show that taking vitamin D supplements can lower the risk of developing certain respiratory infections, especially in people that are vitamin D deficient. However, randomised control trials have shown mixed results from using vitamin D to actually prevent respiratory infections. However, researchers do point out that the same groups of people that are at greater risk of COVID-19, like individuals in care homes and people from a BAME background as well, are more at risk of vitamin D deficiency as well. However, this doesn't mean that vitamin D deficiency can directly increase your COVID risk. There could be any number of factors that are responsible for this relationship, and it's likely to be a combination of a few factors. However, one thing that researchers can all agree on is that the effects of the pandemic have meant that everyone is at a greater risk of a vitamin D deficiency due to strict lockdowns and less opportunity to spend time outdoors. I mean, here in the UK we're only allowed to go outside for essential reasons, and we can't really spend that much time outdoors recreationally, and that combined with winter means that everyone is definitely at a greater risk of developing a vitamin D deficiency for sure. And the National Institute for Healthcare and Excellence and Public Health England have actually called for a review of all the recent research into sleep and vitamin D, and they essentially agreed that the current guidance to take vitamin D supplements in autumn and winter should remain, but there isn't enough evidence to show that vitamin D supplements can effectively prevent or treat COVID in any population. Although this is an area that researchers are still looking into, it's all very new. So I'm sure that there will be more answers provided by research in the future. So in summary, vitamin D is super important for our physical health, our mental health, and for regulating our sleep, and it might even play a role in reducing your risk of catching COVID-19 too. So moral of the story, make sure you get enough vitamin D, get outside as much as possible, eat foods that contain vitamin D, and if that isn't possible, definitely consider taking an additional vitamin D supplement, especially during the winter time. I know I take a vitamin D supplement because I'm vegetarian, so I can't get my vitamin D from animal products. So yeah, definitely consider it. So yeah, I really hope you found this video useful. And we'd love to hear your experience. Is this something that you knew about? Did you know about the link between sleep and mental health and vitamin D? Have any of you ever tried to increase your vitamin D intake, and did you notice a difference on either your sleep or your physical health or your mental health? Definitely get in touch and let us know. I'd love to continue chatting about this. It's super interesting. And if you are struggling with your mental health, and you think you might benefit from a little bit of extra support, Heal Hub can match you with a therapist for 6 free sessions. So you can just go to our website, it's healhub.org.uk. And if you would like to keep up with all our other exciting projects, you can follow Lifeproof UK on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter as well. I hope you all have a lovely day and you all are staying safe in lockdown. And yeah, go outside as much as possible. Okay, bye.